a man who died more than 2,400 years ago. Yet his ideas are still taught in the world's biggest universities, a philosopher whose student became Aristotle, and Aristotle later taught Alexander the Great. But who was this man? How did a young boy from ancient Greece become one of the greatest thinkers in human history? And why are his ideas still discussed today? Plato, around 4 Nunaria 28 due, in the ancient city of Athens, Greece. A boy was born into a wealthy and powerful family. His real name was believed to be Aristocles, but people later started calling him Plato, a name that meant broad. From a young age, Plato was different from other children. While others spent their time playing, Plato spent his time thinking. He loved poetry, music, politics, and knowledge. He constantly questioned the world around him. But everything changed when he met a man named Socrates. Socrates was not an ordinary teacher. He did not simply give answers. Instead, he asked questions. What is truth? What is justice? What makes a person good? Young Plato became fascinated by his ideas. Soon he became one of Socrates' closest students. For years, Plato followed him and learned from him. But then, something terrible happened. In 399 BC, Socrates was accused of corrupting the youth of Athens. He was put on trial and sentenced to death. His punishment was to drink poison. Plato watched helplessly as his teacher died. That moment changed him forever. He realized how dangerous ignorance and bad leadership could be, and from that pain, a new philosopher was born. After the death of Socrates, Plato left Athens. He traveled across different lands, including Egypt and Italy. During his journeys, he studied mathematics, science, politics, and philosophy. The more he learned, the more he believed one thing: education could change society, knowledge could create a better world, and with that dream, he returned to Athens. Back in Athens, Plato founded a school called the Academy. Many historians consider it the world's first university. Students came there to study philosophy, mathematics, science, and politics. Among those students was a young man named Aristotle. Plato believed society should be guided by wisdom, not by greed, not by power, but by knowledge. Plato wrote many books, but his most famous work was The Republic. In this book, he described his vision of the perfect society. One of his most famous ideas was the philosopher king. Plato believed rulers should not be selfish or hungry for power. Instead, the wisest people should lead society. He divided society into 3 groups: workers, soldiers, and philosophers. According to Plato, a just society can only exist when wisdom leads power. Plato also tried to understand the human soul. He believed every person had 3 parts inside them: reason, courage, and desire. And when these 3 stayed balanced, a person could live a meaningful life. His ideas later became the foundation of Western philosophy and psychology. Even today, his teachings continue to influence the modern world. Around 348 BC, Plato passed away, but his ideas never died. More than 2,000 years later, his teachings are still studied across the world. His student Aristotle carried his wisdom forward, and Aristotle later taught Alexander the Great, which means Plato's influence helped shape human civilization itself. Plato was not just a philosopher, he was a man who taught humanity how to think. He showed the world that true power does not come from money or armies, but from wisdom and knowledge. And maybe that is why, even after 2,400 years, the world still remembers his name.